All right, so Nick Nurse, I'm a little bit confused, and like Tyler had said this earlier, it's really difficult when Paul George is injured to start the season. Now you've lost Tyrese Maxey. Joel Embiid's not ready to go, and he's not playing. But I'm still trying to he's still trying to figure out his combinations. The Paul George minutes restrictions. Like if you look at the box score, I think he had 32 minutes last night. It's just weird how he's using them. He brought him in the fourth quarter when it felt like, well, the Knicks just had their run. You should have had him in there a couple minutes earlier. Now you're bringing him in. You're down 14. Evaluate Nick Nurse so far this year. They're 2-8. They're staring down the barrel of 2-9 with the Cavs coming into town. How do you think he's done so far?
So I think last season, Johnny, I pointed out last season because of the Maxey injury where he was out for a month. And Embiid was out for, 2.5, almost 3 months.
Yep.
And you didn't have that third star like you do here with Paul George. So I didn't give him an incomplete last season, but I made sure that when we evaluated Nick Nurse, that I pointed out every time that I like him as a coach. I like him a lot as a coach. He never had his full roster. And for a significant stretch of time. And then at the end of the season, they won the 8 games going to the postseason, but they had to go through the play-in tournament. Joel Embiid gets re-injured in the Knicks series. And as great as he is, he goes and he does what he does, averaging 30 points while Maxey is doing his piece, and you don't get enough help from anyone else, and you lose in 6. In this case, Tyler's right. Didn't have Embiid and George to start. Tyrese Maxey was a little overwhelmed from all the attention that he was getting as the number 1 guy. And it's not entirely his fault because, again, as I keep saying, and I'll say it again, you're asking other guys to go up a level from what they're not supposed to be doing. Right. You're not asking Caleb Martin to take 16 shots a night and win a game. Same thing with Kelly Oubre. Unless he's rolling, you're not asking that. And then you're inserting Guerschon Yabusele, who has been fantastic, and asking him to do a little bit more than you expected in his early part of his career. So saying all that to say, to get back to Nick Nurse, on the West Coast trip, I didn't think he did that great of a job. Charlotte, I thought he did much better, and they wound up winning that game. And you bring up the Paul George minute restriction. You saw it even in that game where that was a winnable game, and they desperately needed one, Johnny, and they got it, but they needed overtime. And it was with him sitting on the bench, and you need the heroics of Jared McCain and Kyle Lowry and some rebounds and some steals at the end to get it done. And I just like you said about Joel Embiid when you started this conversation, I want to see Nick Nurse with his full complement of players and full complement of a roster. Now, we can evaluate him through the 10 games because they're 2-8. Part of it's on him. Yeah. But it's not, of course, it's not entirely on him because how is he supposed to win? And I said it after one of those games in the first 4 or 5, maybe 5th or 6th game, somewhere around there. Like, this is a lottery team if it's just Tyrese Maxey and the guys behind him. That's it. And now you get these other players back. So Nick Nurse has been just okay. And I would like to be able to evaluate him with a full complement of his entire personnel.